Forget the eggnog and mistletoe. Today we're going to be diving into the deadliest holiday horror movies that you would never survive. From bloodthirsty snowmen to demonic anti-Santas, these films will for sure make you wish for a silent night, or at least a safe one. Think you'd make it out alive? Stick around and find out why these Christmas horror movies guarantee you'd be dead before the first carol. Terrifier 3. Movie premises around our main character, Sienna Shaw, who has survived previous encounters with the killer clown known as Art the Clown, and is now trying to rebuild her life during Christmas time, the most jolly time of the year. But Art the Clown's return and his new accomplice, as he possesses Victoria. With Art the Clown's untimely return and his new accomplice Victoria, who was Art the Clown's first surviving victim, they now both team up to unleash chaos on the town of Miles County, turning the holiday season into a gruesome nightmare. Now I'm telling you right now, there is no humanly possible way you are surviving Art the Clown, so don't even drop it in the comment section. We have seen him do things that are quite literally insane. And Victoria as well. The glass shard scene, have we all seen that? I had to rewatch that to be like, okay, that is actually what's going on. Because when I first sat down and watched the movie, yes, it shocked me. I was like, damn, this movie is crazy. But then I started seeing stuff online about the glass shard. Oh yeah, she did that. So you not only have to worry about Victoria, but you also have to worry about Art the Clown, the malevolent spirit inside of Art the Clown, and the fact that he is immortal. What are we talking about? We watched him kill a man dressed like Santa Claus using a fire extinguisher, freezing off different parts of him and then knocking them off. So I don't want to hear anything about you being able to survive Art the Clown. If you're dropped in Miles County, you better drive away. And yes, technically Terrifier 3 is a holiday movie because it's based around Christmas time. Now there isn't much joy and cheer in this movie, but it's definitely a certified Christmas classic. Black Christmas. Black Christmas centers around a quiet sorority house, of course taking place during the holiday season, where it unexpectedly takes a dark turn when a woman receives a disturbing phone call from an unknown stalker. And as the night unfolds, the killer's identity and intentions become more chilling. Now, Black Christmas is one of the first slasher movies we have ever seen, and more or less paved the way for a lot of these other horror movie icons to make their break. Now, when I think about it, it kind of sounds like the plot to Scream. The phone rings, who is it? Ghostface. What's your favorite scary movie? It sounds like a one-on-one replica, but obviously Black Christmas takes place during Christmas time, but it still sounds similar. Now, one thing these girls in the sorority have no idea about is the fact that the killer is actually already inside of the house. Bro doesn't have to go anywhere to pick off any victims. He's currently hiding in the attic, making these phone calls, and no one knows he's there. He's then slowly leaving them phone calls, taunting them, and then picking them off one by one. And I'm gonna be honest, if there's a killer inside of your attic leaving you mysterious phone calls and picking off every one of your family members one by one, there's already nothing you can do. You don't know where bro is. And with him being inside of the house, it makes their escape nearly impossible. The sorority sisters in this movie not only feel extremely isolated because they have no idea how they're being picked off while inside of the house, yet never seeing the killer. And as the movie goes on, they slowly start losing hope, which is a number one thing you cannot do inside of a horror movie. You cannot lose hope. So for everyone who's about to leave a comment and say, dude, I would completely survive if somebody was living, no, you wouldn't. You would have no idea. You'd be going to bed, resting your little head, and all of a sudden, you'd be dead. Krampus. The movie premises around a dysfunctional family during the holidays, where they end up attracting attention they don't want from a dark entity known as Krampus, a dark counterpart to Santa Claus. When the power goes out during a blizzard and traps them all together, they now have to try and band together to survive the demon's wrath and his horrifying helpers, including a killer gingerbread man and sinister elves. Now, Krampus is the definition of F around and find out. Now, this could have been completely avoided if the kid didn't rip up his little note to Santa Claus and throw it out the window. Then stuff got crazy. He lost his faith in Santa Claus. He thought Christmas was over, which is exactly when Krampus strikes. Once despair and mischief around the holidays happen, Krampus gets the call. Now, the other thing is Krampus isn't the only one you have to worry about. You have to worry about the killer gingerbread man, the elves, and the Pop Goes the Weasel character. That clown is scary as hell. Now, Krampus is based on Central European folklore. Krampus is honored as a creature who punishes those who lose their holiday spirit, which is exactly why the little kid messed up by ripping up his letter to Santa and throwing it out the window. He asked for it. Now, Krampus isn't just a physical threat, but a supernatural entity that thrives on despair and holiday mischief. So if you lose your holiday cheer, bro is sliding and causing fear. It's no question. It's just how it works. The other problem is no amount of fight back against Krampus seems to work. Once you're on his little list, you're done for. So my advice, don't lose your holiday cheer, or bro is gonna slide and cause some fear. I really like that one. That was really good. That was on the spot too. Silent Night, Deadly Night. The movie premises around our main character, Billy, who witnesses his parents murdered by a man in a Santa suit. Billy then grows up extremely traumatized, and he eventually snaps, throwing on a Santa suit and going on a murderous rampage. Now I get it, bro watched his parents get packed up. I completely understand. understand, but to dress up as Santa Claus and axe people to death? Bro, that's cold. And how he's targeting his victims? Well, if you're naughty, you're done. He strictly goes after people who he deems to be naughty. Billy is also extremely methodical and completely merciless, using, of course, the Santa suit to get close to his victims. Because during the holiday season, of course, you're walking down the street, you see Santa, you say, hey, what's up, Santa? You don't say, oh no, don't axe me. You don't know. And the strongest thing about him is his personal vendetta, which more or less makes him unstoppable, especially if you've been naughty. Now look, I already know a lot of you in the comments about to say, Chris, I'm not getting packed up by no one wearing a Santa suit. Just wait for this next one. Jack Frost. The movie premises around a serial killer who was recently executed. His soul then merges with the snowman, turning him into a murderous snowman. I know what you're saying, and I know that you're laughing right now, but bro is actually gruesome as hell. Now yes, I know getting packed up by a snowman was not on your 2024 bingo card, but hear me out. Now the snowman doesn't even have to use weapons. He uses his ice abilities to kill his victims in extremely gruesome ways. He is not your average Frosty the Snowman with his corncob pipe and his button nose, you know, 2 eyes made out of coal. Yeah, that's not him. That is not him. And fighting a snowman is of course nearly impossible because weapons can't do any damage. Now of course, I already know what you guys are gonna say, Chris, I would get the blow dryer and blow dry him until he melts away. Now look, I thought of that too, but it's so cold outside, so even if he melts, he can then refreeze, making him virtually indestructible. Now of course, if it was summertime, you would be perfectly fine because you don't have to worry about a snowman. We're talking about Christmas time, and I'm not gonna lie to you, we are all getting packed up by Jack Frost, the mean ones. The movie premises around the Grinch. Well, technically the Grinch, terrorizing of course a small town, which we all know as Whoville. But technically the movie is a parody, so it can't actually be named Whoville, and he can't be named the Grinch, but he's the Grinch. He's also played by the same actor that plays Art the Clown, which right there for you should make it seem that he is way more devious than you may think. Yes, he's green, yes, he's furry. But as we know, the Grinch is a grouch, and if he could have packed all the people up in Whoville, he would have done that. Now look, the Grinch's mysterious strength and relentless attacks almost make it impossible for you to survive. Now all I'm saying is I don't want to personally fight the Grinch one-on-one, especially the mean one's version of the Grinch. He's a lot more mean, he used weapons, technically it is a low-budget horror movie parody, but all in all, the Grinch character in this movie is played by Art the Clown. So just imagine, take what you know from Art the Clown, put it into the Grinch, watch the movie, and then type back and let me know what you guys think. Because I'm telling you right now, it's not a fight you're gonna win. ATM. Movie premises around coworkers who are trapped inside of an ATM booth, as a hooded killer during Christmas time is sitting there waiting for them to leave. Look, bro's camping. We all know bro is camping, but we also have Josh Peck in this movie. You know, from Drake and Josh, which was the only reason I ended up ever watching this movie. Now look, the isolating setting in this movie, the killer's insane patience, makes surviving this movie nearly impossible. We see the killer go to absolutely insane lengths in this movie to try and kill them inside of where they're at because they're too scared to go outside. Now look, for me personally, it sounds like a 3-on-1, and I like those odds. Bro doesn't show any weapons at first, he doesn't show anything. We're just gonna rush him or come out and go left. But I guess when you're in that situation, it's a little bit different. You have to try to make the right decision. All in all, bro is a camper. If you're at the ATM, you know, taking out a little cash, whatever, and all of a sudden you turn around and there's a guy standing next to his truck wearing a hood, you can't see him at all, it's so dark, there's barely any lights. It's during Christmas time, and every time you try to get close to the door, bro takes a step, you're not surviving, I don't care what you say. The Gingerbread Man. Movie premises around a killer's soul who is baked inside of a gingerbread cookie. That of course then comes to life and starts killing. Now this is one of those Chucky moments where a serial killer dies and their body is now infused with something. Chucky was a doll, this guy's a gingerbread man. Now that wouldn't be my first choice, but I'm gonna let him rock. And yes, this movie is stupid, but the reason that it would be almost impossible for you to survive is because you would not think that a cookie could be a killer. Or technically fighting a baked good. Imagine you're at a Christmas party and you see a bunch of gingerbread men. I love to eat gingerbread men. You go to pick it up and that thing just stabs you in your jugular. You had no idea. It's one of those movies that completely catches you off guard, especially with that character. Now, for me, I'd probably try to eat him if I'm being so for real, but I would probably end up dead. Better watch out. Movie premises around a babysitter fending off the home from intruders. She then discovers the threat is closer than she thinks, as the boys she's watching reveal their shocking and sinister plan. Now, look, I watched this movie for the first time last year, and I'm gonna be honest, the plot twist got me. I had no idea what was going on until that plot twist happened. Then I was like, oh shit, what is going on? Simplest reason you're not surviving this movie is one thing. If you're babysitting kids, you would not think that they would be trying to kill you, because that's exactly what's happening in the movie. Your downfall is trust. Parents go out to a Christmas party, they're like, hey, can you come over and watch our kids? Sure. You walk in the door, you make some cookies, all of a sudden you fall asleep and wake up and you're tied up. One of the coolest things in this movie is they actually use some scenes from Home Alone, like with some of the creative kills, and it was pretty awesome. But all in all, surviving this movie is nearly impossible because you're not gonna suspect kids be the ones trying to kill you. Finally, you have P2. Movie premises around a young woman working late on Christmas Eve, becomes trapped inside of her office building's parking garage, where a security guard is trying to hunt her down. This movie's one of those cat and mouse movies. You're trapped inside of a parking garage, you're being hunted by someone who has weapons, and you never know where they are. The movie, of course, explores themes of obsession and survival, with the terrible, uncomfortable feeling. I know I'm not the only one who's parked my car in a garage, got out late from somewhere, thought that someone was following me. Now imagine if that were true. How scared would you be? The movie's atmosphere itself is absolutely terrifying. 9 times out of 10, if you're at a parking garage, you have no idea that you're actually being stalked. But once you do, what's your first play? Mine, personally, would probably be to get in my car and lock the doors. Then again, how much help is that? You have no weapons, no way of figuring out how to get out. Honestly, I would just jump. How high could you be up? In my opinion, that's probably the only questionable survival-based one that you could actually try to survive. Or you can just try to overpower the security guard, but bro has weapons. So there you have it. There's a list of holiday horror movies that, in my opinion, you would not be able to make it out of. From bloodthirsty snowmen to killer gingerbread men, and even Art the Clown dressed as Santa Claus. You have no escape. But hopefully you guys did go and enjoy today's video, and if you did, don't forget to smack a like on it. That'd be greatly appreciated. Comment down below what else you guys want to see on the channel. With all that being said, guys, my name is Chris, and of course, I will catch you guys on the next one.